And now, an 8th special presentation.
This time on Art Beat Nation. A quilting exhibit that echoes the deep roots of a community.
It's a, if I may say, a tactile representation of the traditions.
An artist who uses his unique humor and wit to captivate his audience.
Jeffrey Warmoth, No More Funny Stuff, literally invigorates the museum. It brings us into the 21st century.
Meet an opera singer who adds a modern twist to the genre.
I would characterize my music as opera, operatic pop, and easy listening.
And a Western art exhibit changes viewers' interpretation of the landscape around them.
This show allows artists of today to not reinterpret, but to say it through their own visual vocabulary.
It's all ahead on this edition of Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you. Tucked away in the northern Florida town of Eatonville are quilters Ella Dinkins and Josephine Burns. By matching scraps together, the two women create authentic woven representations of the African American traditions of their community.
I like putting colors together mostly, and that's sometimes it's difficult because you can't find the right color. Then you have to stop on that and go to something, to a color that you have a lot of colors of. The other day, with all these scraps that I had, I got together with myself and sat in the chair and took all the blues out and the greens out and the different colors out and put them in different containers and say, now I can't use this, so I stored it away. And then sometimes I remember that, and that I stored away, there was a color I could use. And so I have to go dig out and get the bag and get the colors out that will make something different.
I take scraps and I cut out circles and I hem it all the way around and draw it together, and that makes the rosebud. They call it rosebuds now. They used to call them yo-yos, they call them rosebuds now.
It's amazing. People give you scraps, and in those scraps you find many things.
And I love to do it, but I can't do as much as I used to do because I have cramps in my hand. I can do so much, and I get cramps, I have to stop. If I did it all the time, just constantly, it would take me a year to make a nice big one.
Everything is by hand. Putting the pieces together and doing the quilting is all handwork. And I don't have, years ago they had a rack that you put the quilt on and roll it and do it like that. But I put mine across my lap and I quilt like that. People don't understand the time that you have to put in to make the quilt. And when you give them the price, they say, "Ooh, that's too much." But they don't realize they're getting something. They go to the store and pay twice as much for something that's not nearly as authentic as what you're getting from me.
They don't understand how much patience and time it takes to do these things. And it really takes time to do that. After you make the circles, you gotta sit down and sew them together. I can do it for 3 or 4 hours. And the cramps catch me and I have to stop.
Well, my grandmother first taught me when I was a child about quilting and embroidering, and then later on in years after I went to school and whatnot, and I started quilting small pieces, but in these recent years I've made mini quilts.
My mother quilted too, and she made some beautiful quilts. And when she died, she had a trunk full of scraps and quilt tops and stuff she started making, hadn't finished. And so it was 4 of us girls. She had 4 girls. And none of them wanted the scraps. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take these scraps, I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna make something out of them. Yeah, but I love it. And if people if people would do it, they'd love to do it too. But you got to have patience, plenty of patience to do that work. Because one girl was wanting them to know how to do it, and I showed her how to do it. And she called me and told me it took her 4 minutes to make one.
Oh, I think Eatonville is the most precious place, really, in this world. When I listen to things that are happening all over the world, we have some difficulties, but the difficulties that people are having now, we don't have that.
And I remember when I was younger, I used to come to Eatonville from Oviedo. They had a chorus, and every Sunday afternoon they have a concert, and my mother would bring us to the concert.
Here you have 2 women, one in her mid-90s, the other I think maybe early 80s, and they do represent, it's a, if I may say, a tactile representation of the traditions of Eatonville and any of these communities that are steeped in heritage. In this instance, the heritage is of African ancestry, but you find this in any traditional community. Jim Crow laws, that was the legalization of separation of the races in all things, and really was a disenfranchisement of the African American population. Because of the physical danger of the black population, there were some people in that community that said, if we cannot live in peace with whites, we need to separate. And so the difference with the establishment of Eatonville, which really was established as a part of what is called the race colonies movement, was that there were black people who had money, and there were white people who were willing to sell them land. So the historic significance of Eatonville is, since 1887, without any lapse, has been a self-governing community, the oldest incorporated African American municipality in the country.
For more information about the exhibit, visit hccfl.edu. The Fitchburg Art Museum in Massachusetts aspires to create a more sophisticated art culture in an industrial city that has fallen on hard time. The museum recently welcomed its first retrospective contemporary art exhibit, No More Funny Stuff, by Jeffu Warmuth, a man who has spent his lifetime dabbling with art, video, and humor. Let's take a look.
There is now more muscle in the mission at the Fitchburg Art Museum.
I want everybody who comes to this museum to leave this museum with these words on their lips. Oh my God, you can't believe what I just saw at the Fitchburg Art Museum.
Nick Capasso is the new director of the museum. He is energetic and undaunted, inheriting a sizable, well-funded museum boasting impressive collections in both African art and photography.
We're a little out of scale for the city. Fitchburg has 40,000 people, and this is a big museum. It's surprisingly, I was surprised at how large it is.
Fitchburg art is a boon in a city that doesn't have many of them. The economic downturn has hit here like a slalom. Fitchburg's main street, lined with empty storefronts, runs like a scar through downtown, which is why Capasso believes in leading Fitchburg art. He has a role and a responsibility.
We're involved in creating a downtown cultural district here. We're involved in placing public art on Main Street. We're involved in creating affordable artist live-work space in the city. It's a different way to think about museums. It's thinking, when you think about having a museum serve a community as opposed to the museum audience, you see the difference?
Same goes for inside the museum, where Fitchburg Art has just opened No More Funny Stuff, the first ever retrospective of contemporary artist Jeffu Warmuth.
Jeffu Warmuth, No More Funny Stuff, literally invigorates the museum. It brings us into the 21st century. There's video projection, interactive artwork, performance-based artwork.
and loads of humor in the show, which is a romp through more than 20 years of the artist's work.
Transplant was really kind of the breakthrough work in the funny stuff, as it were. I was rifling through the yellow pages and saw one of those, ads for a hair transplant service, and I just wanted to do some kind of parody of it.
Wormuth revels in the absurd, and the longtime Fitchburg State University professor often casts himself in the heart of it.
I was kind of interested in this performative idea of this sort of everyman character, a sort of stand-in for humanity. I'm a fairly convenient stand-in, so I'm always at hand to photograph.
His piece Crawl, in which he's incessantly moving along confined tracks, is funny until it's not. It could be whimsy. It could also be an indictment of a life of labor.
I love that this work can have a fairly open set of reactions, that people will project themselves into the work, and whatever they bring to the table and whatever they are feeling about themselves or their situation will often color the way that they read the work.
With the tool of humor, Jeff can sort of deliver you very quickly to deeper emotional places, whether those places are something simple like delight, or more complicated like anxiety, or boredom, or ennui, or just existential angst. It's like a main line to your gut.
A place he hits hard in Super Jeffu Market, a self-portrait.
And that definitely arose from the social commentary and this notion that in the sort of consumer world, our identities are fragmented, and we get served up different ideas of what we're supposed to be by the media, by advertisers, and by the makers of products of various kinds, right? So this idea that I'm not a complete person, but I'm really just this kind of montage of fragments of different, identities.
Does it start with the humorous idea, but you know what the subtext is? How does that work?
Often, humor comes up because I just find something funny, right? Wordplay probably just comes naturally to me, so I'll do work that's funny as well. Sometimes there's a deep subtext that's political or social. Sometimes it's just hilarious.
Give it a try!
In his dueling fast food kiosks, JFC and Jeffu Burger, patrons place an order and Wormuth serves up some dish. Or rather, he slings it.
I need to meet my daily quota, or I'll be demoted again.
Very much thinking about fast food as a cybernetic experience, the kind of relationship between food and technology. Fast food and technology is kind of consumer culture and technology, both in the way that we in the kind of literal sense, in the way that we even order food from a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's, and you drive through and you're talking. Are you really talking to a person, or are you talking to a little, machine on the other side of the window?
Funny, the questions posed here, because it's the answers that will nail you.
For more, check out jeffu.tv. Ingvar Estrada's mesmerizing voice has captured audiences around the world. By drawing on his Italian heritage, this Las Vegas opera singer has both revived the classics and given them a modern twist. Let's listen in as Estrada describes his practice regimen and how he's able to produce such a rich tenor tone.
My name is Ingvar Estrada, and I'm a singer. I'm originally from Rome, Italy. I speak a little Italian, and I sing in 3 languages: Italian, Spanish, and French. My favorite language is Italian. It's a romantic language, and the music is just, it's glorious. I would characterize my music as opera, operatic pop, and easy listening. I've performed for the Las Vegas Philharmonic, MGM Grand, the Las Vegas Hilton. I've performed with Siegfried and Roy, Rich Little, and numerous others. I practice once to twice a day, 3 days a week. Very important to rest the vocal cords. My special singing potion is chamomile tea with lemon, honey, and olive oil, which helps to lubricate the vocal cords. I'm working on going back to the opera and the classics, these great standards of the greatest tenors of the last century, from Pavarotti, Mario Lanza, Placido Domingo. I absolutely love the classics. There's so many songs that are like jewels. Just to find them, to find the right ones and put them together accordingly, I think is a wonderful thing to do. Growing up, my parents constantly played the opera around the house. My mother was an opera singer, and my father was formerly a music conductor in Bogota, Colombia, and he relocated to Rome, Italy, and he composed musical scores for films. My mother would constantly be singing opera and playing opera around the house, and my father as well. He was a concert pianist and a music professor in addition to a conductor. And music was just constantly around me all my life, so it's influenced me ever since. It was wonderful growing up with culture of classical music. I lost my father a few years ago. Losing my father was one of the worst things that could ever happen to me, because he was my mentor, he was my best friend. When someone special as your parents pass, I think you regret not sharing more time with them. If I had my way, I'd go back and lock myself up in the house growing up, and I would just work on music with my father. But I'm thankful for every moment that I learned and enjoyed with him. I think the greatest thing my father taught me was to never quit. The most challenging thing about what I do is the marketing aspect. It'd be great to concentrate more on the art of singing. My audience here in Vegas has responded enthusiastically. They've compared me with their favorite singers, and some even like me better, which I feel thankful, grateful, and blessed for. I love what I do, and I love sharing the classics, and ultimately to make others happy. And the art of music, it just gratifies life. It's just the ultimate happiness for me.
To learn more, visit ingvarestrada.com. The Coors Western Art Exhibit is a celebration of today's evolving arts culture in the West. The show is held in a traditional Colorado stockyard, where viewers are able to experience the show rather than merely view it. The exhibit features contemporary artist Kuang Ho, who adds a unique perspective to this art form.
People think of Western art, immediately it's cowboys, wagon trains, things like that. But that doesn't exist in that fashion today.
I think the show, how it might differ from the traditional Western art. You think of it as cowboys and Indians and horses and landscapes that have to do with the West. This show allows artists of today to not reinterpret, but to say it through their own visual vocabulary.
The niche of the Coors Western Art exhibit and sale, and my vision as a curator for this show, is to stick with what is happening today, contemporary art. So what we're doing is saying, what is the West like today? And in this show, you will see art from so many different artists who have a different take on what they see happening in the West, and then approach it in their medium. This year, our featured artist is Quang Ho.
I came from Vietnam. In 1975, I came over a day after the fall of Saigon. I was 11 years old. I started drawing when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and I never stopped. I have trouble going to sleep at night because there's not enough time in a day to do all the concepts that I have in my head. I will never have writer's block in the sense that I can start with any one thing, a horse or a still life or a landscape, and I immediately see 10 different ways to talk about that.
He absolutely doesn't look like your typical Westerner, but he's very much of the West. He is looking at the West and horses and everything else in this countryside from a different perspective. He sees the horses as athletes. He sees them as graceful as ballerinas. But he also brings this really wonderful technique. It's very much the joy of paint. Playing with paint, pushing colors in and out, playing with abstract forms. How much can he lose of that horse and still keep us as an audience engaged?
Some of the paintings, I'll paint a very complete, realistic horse, and then I scrape it all off, and then go back on top of it. So that's why you have layers and layers on the paintings. So the horse is just the starting point. It allows me to explore with paint, and the horses can change, so I'll keep parts of it and let other parts go. So in the end, the composition is what really matters.
Our artists have a lot of fun with the show. We have oil, pastel, watercolor, bronze, and stone sculpture. We also have clay work in the show, which are generally the traditional forms that you find in a show like this. We're one of the few shows that includes photography. There's a photograph in the show that's from Mesquite, Texas, that is a tree that has several hanging dead coyotes from it. And ranchers to this day fight with environmentalists, and it's a big issue in the West. So instead of shying away from having a confrontational photograph like that in the show, we put it out there, and it's going to be a great conversation starter.
There's such a wonderful variety of work in the show, and Rose has done a really great job of bringing it to a higher level than just Western art, in a sense.
This particular art exhibit, being at the National Western Stock Show, you don't just experience it visually, you hear it and you smell it. This show, we are on the grounds of the stockyards. It's a lot of fun, it's loud, it's enjoyable, it's an experience. It's a Western experience. And all the net proceeds that we raise from this show goes to the National Western Scholarship Trust. So we are literally helping keep the Western way of life alive and well, because we are putting kids through college who are studying agribusiness, rural family health, medicine, veterinary sciences, and on and on. So we have been able to do some really wonderful things with Western art in a space like this.
I know what art does to me as an artist. It has taught me to dig deeper. It transports you into a state of aesthetic arrest, which is, in a way, stepping out of the world. And where time stops and wanting stops, there's no desire. Everything stops, and there's just beauty.
I think the best way that art in general, and in particular this show, the Coors Western Art exhibit, can help people understand the West is when you look at the paintings and the sculpture and everything that's in the show. It's very hard to walk out of these doors and not look at the landscape differently. It's an experience, and you walk through life and you see the world differently. It's a wonderful thing art does for us.
For further information, visit CoorsWesternArt.com. For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find feature videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to 8 from viewers like you. Thank you.